Hey darlings, I'm going to bed. Elena Timofeyevna took the daughter by the hand. Wait a couple of minutes, sit down. I'm going to bed. You never told me where you were going today. Alina sat down, but she couldn't look at her mom. If she tells me where she was going now, Mom will be upset again, start crying, saying that it's her fault. But it won't work to avoid this conversation. She will have to tell her mother something, but she can't lie either. I have to tell the truth, no matter how unpleasant she is. Mom, just promise not to get upset again, or I won't say anything. Alina said it in a serious tone. Elena Timofeyevna looked at her daughter carefully, and then her lips trembled. She promised. Okay, I won't. Alina sighed and said, I got a job. There was silence. And then Mom asked, if I should have been upset, then this is not the job you deserve, right? Alina slowed down for a couple of seconds, and then nodded. Elena Timofeyevna sighed. What this time? Almost the same, only in a different place. And then they pay a little more, and the schedule suits me. I see. Mother briefly answered. They kept silent for a few minutes. Elena Timofeyevna didn't let go of her daughter's hand. Alina, my soul is covered in blood. You don't deserve such a life. It's my fault. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have to be so humble. Mom, you promised. But what kind of person are you? Is it easier than crying? Who is it easier for? Tell me. Don't change anything, and besides, it's not your fault. That incident happened not because of you, but because of you. And not because of me, I agree. But I don't want to remember that. That's it. I'm going to sleep. Tomorrow, after 5 p.m., I start working. Good night, Mom. Alina kissed her mother, and then went to the kitchen to clean the table and wash the dishes. Half an hour later, Alina was already in bed. She was lying and thinking about how her life changed 5 years ago. And to this day, she still cannot accept the terrible injustice she faced. But she could not change anything. And she could not change her life now either, because she has to take care of her mother. Alina had an economic education. She worked in a large company, was on a good list, so good that many envied her. Her boss trusted her, often consulted with her, and colleagues behind her back often gossiped that Alina was too close to him. They hinted that she was his mistress, but the girl did not pay attention to other people's conversations. She worked calmly, doing her duties with good conscience, and then, unfortunately happened. Her mother got into an accident, her car was crashed, and her mother was seriously injured. Now she was immobile, under the belt. All Alina's savings went to try to restore her mother's health, but nothing helped. Alina couldn't accept the fact that her mother, in relation to her young age, will be helpless, and that until the end of her life she will need constant care. All the anxiety and worries put their mark on Alina. She changed, became slightly disoriented. Her work was difficult because her thoughts were often far away. One day she was called from the hospital. They said that her mother had a stroke. Alina was supposed to finish checking important documents. Her colleague offered her help, and Alina left her documents with relief. Her mother was saved because she was provided with help in time, but Alina was very hurt because her colleague filled the documents incorrectly and sent them to the head office. The higher-ups came with a decision to fire the employee who had done his job so impudently. This employee was Alina. Alina's boss made her a deal. Alina tried to justify herself, but she failed. Her boss never understood what right Alina had to leave her job to another employee who was not obliged to do all this. Alina's colleague, who tore the documents, pretended that she had nothing to do with it. And she did not admit her guilt, and she was not obliged to admit it. Alina tried to prove her innocence for a long time, but this only led to the fact that it was discussed far beyond the firm. Since the firm was very large and famous, Alina was never fired after such a shameful dismissal for not fulfilling her duties. We can say that she was now in the blacklist. But Alina could not get a job anymore, not only for this reason. and also because she needed to take care of her mother. She didn't have money for a seat. That's how Alina's life changed so dramatically. But she needed to live for something, and Alina took the extreme step. She had to become a cleaner to have at least some money for a living. Together with her mother's pension and disability, it was at least something. Alina sighed, and because of the memories, she could not fall asleep, and she began to think about the work that awaits her tomorrow. Of course, nothing will change much. She will be the same cleaner as she was. But only at this point, the salary was a little higher. These several thousand could play a big role in the family budget, and the schedule was very convenient. She worked 17 hours and 0 hours. All day she could be with her mom, and in the evening she could leave because her neighbor was returning home. Elena Nikolaevna helped the girl. She visited Elena Timofeyevna several times to visit her, ask how she was doing, feed her. And Alina was glad that such a case had happened to her. She could not worry that in the evening her mother would be left without a caretaker. The girl smiled bitterly. If someone had told her before that she would be happy with the cleaning lady's work, she would have laughed a lot. But life is a strange joke. Good luck can turn away from a person at any moment, and you can't do anything about it if you are led by unexpected circumstances. Alina sighed and turned to the other side, trying not to think about anything. After a while, she fell asleep. Alina started her duties the next day. There was nothing complicated. The bank worked until 5 p.m. Then, for a while, the employees were in their places. They finished work, hid the documents in the safe, and even talked. Alina started working in the main halls, and then cleaned all the cabinets. By the time she started cleaning the cabinets, almost none of the employees remained. Only the bank director and his secretary often stayed for a long time. But they had a reason. Nikita Mihailovich was quite young. Alina was surprised how a bank director could be such a young man. Apparently, he had good connections. He was married. His wife Stella was very beautiful, judging by the photos on his table. Alina often looked at her. This girl was a delight to her. She had a kind face that was not very characteristic of rich and successful people. And she was rich and successful. She had her own beauty salon. And even in the photo, she looked as if she were a princess. Clothes, jewelry, bag. She was like from a fashion magazine. Having such a wife, Nikita Mihailovich should have been happy with life. What else do you need? A good position, success, a beautiful wife who also earns a lot. He had everything, but everything was not so simple. And there were two moments that Alina immediately recognized from the guard. Alina looked at this guy, and he often followed her around when she cleaned up in the main hall. She liked him so much that he secretly told her what he didn't tell anyone. First, Nikita Mihailovich was engaged in some kind of fraud. And secondly, the secretary, Christina, was his mistress. Yes, I'm telling you this for sure. He's definitely doing some kind of fraud. Although I respect him and consider him an honest person, but I don't believe it. I've heard too much. And all this happened in one picture. I realized that he was not as clean as it seems. Of course, I can't say anything specific. I'm not going to look for evidence. I don't need it at all. I'm just doing my job. And about Christina, I'm sure they are lovers. I knocked them once in the corridor. It was about 8 in the evening, and they kissed. And Nikita Mihailovich was pressing her for her breast. Yes, it was for the breast. They didn't notice me, thank God. Alina gave the guard some time to understand that he had nothing to count on, and the guy backed off from her when he was convinced that the girl really didn't react to him. He lost interest and he stopped nagging her, but his stories did not give Alina peace. When she was cleaning up the secretary's office, she kept thinking that this room was probably the place of their date. And she was not happy with the way the secretary looked at her when she was asking Alina to stay in her office, as if she wanted to ventilate the room after her. And one day, Alina herself became convinced that Christina was really having a romance with the bank director. In Christina's office, there was her own separate bathroom, where everything was needed for comfort. There was even a shower and a small couch. Why shower in the workplace, and even more so a couch? Of course, Alina understood their goals. Most likely, it was a separate room for the meeting of the director and his mistress. But the girl preferred not to think about what was happening in this room. Somehow Alina cleaned up in this bathroom. She wiped the mirror when she heard that Christina had entered. Alina heard her voice. Yes, wait. I'll close my office door now. Okay, we can talk. So, he offers me to go to Paris for 5 days. Can you imagine? Yes, like a business trip. Stella should not know anything, of course. He will tell her that he is flying to the conference. Yes, dear, that's it. So I'll fly to Paris with Nikita. We'll have a great time there. Alina heard that Christina was walking around the office, and then her steps spread very close. And then the doors to the bathroom spread out, and Christina saw Alina. She opened her eyes and immediately said, I'll call you back. She turned off her phone and angrily screamed, What are you doing here? You eavesdropped, you scoundrel. Oh, you nasty floor cleaner. I don't know what to do with you now. You'll get me now. Alina looked at the angry secretary with fear. I didn't eavesdrop. I'm just cleaning up here. I don't understand why you're so angry at me. I'm just doing my job. I haven't done anything like this in my working time. Christina opened her mouth to scream again, but then realized that she was being stupid. She stood on Alina's hand and then said, You seem to be done. When you're done, leave. And she left. Alina finished her job in 5 minutes, took her handheld money, and left the bathroom. She hurried to the exit, but Christina stopped her when she was already at the door. Wait, wait. Alina stopped. If you tell anyone what you heard, I'll destroy you. So be it. Alina kept silent, then turned around, looked at the secretary and said, What are you talking about? I didn't hear anything. I was just cleaning up here and that's it. Christina glared at her. Something bad flashed through her eyes. She kept silent, and then spoke. That's good. But just in case, I warned you. Better not joke with me. We are in different weight categories, so to speak. You can't fight me. So be it. Alina kept silent. What else could she say to the person who talked to her like that? For everyone, Alina was just a cleaner. She was not perceived as a human. No one could have thought that a person with a higher education can work at the lowest position. Probably everyone thought that she didn't even have brains. Christina nodded at the door, letting her know that she didn't want to see her anymore. Alina went out, taking with her unpleasant impressions from communicating with the assistant director. And what did Nikita Mihailovich find in her? Christina is such an unpleasant girl. Alina continued to work, but the collision with Christina all the time reminded her of herself. Since that day, Christina has not loved the cleaning lady. Every time she saw her, she tried to make her a scum. She pushes the mop, then turns the bucket with water, allegedly by chance. And sometimes she, on purpose, Alina was sure of this, rubs the office so that Alina has more work. One day, she spilled coffee on the carpet near the window. She made Alina rub it for several hours. Alina could not clean the stain, but Christina broke off on it. What a useless worker. You have no brains to even do your job normally. You want me to clean the carpet for you instead? It's impossible. It needs to be given to the chemical cleaner. Alina said, What? Chemical cleaner? And what are you here for? Maybe then we will give your salary to the chemical cleaner, not you? Come on, 3, or you'll be left without a salary. Christina spoke as if she were her boss, as if she were the one who paid her salary, as if Alina was her personal maid. But Alina did not argue with her and prove anything. She needed this job. When Christina saw that Alina was doing fine, she said, You see, you can work when you want to. And why do you have to poke yourself with your nose to make you work well? What kind of people are lazy and lazy? Alina swallowed this insult without wanting to spoil the relationship even more. Sometimes Alina regretted that she pretended to be deaf when she came to work here. She could have avoided many unpleasant moments. And unpleasant moments continued. Alina realized that something strange was happening that she would not even want to get involved in. After a while, Alina knocked on the door of Christina's deputy director's office. She came to clean it up, pre-knocked on the door, and now she has always done this so as not to get into an unpleasant situation again. She knocked, did not hear the answer, and entered. Alina came in and saw Dmitry Anatolyevich sitting at the table with Christine. He threw his feet on the table, and he looked at something on his phone. When he saw the cleaning lady, he immediately removed his feet from the table and blushed. "Ah, you came to clean. Okay, I'll go then." "I can come later," said Alina. No, I had to fix something. I was waiting." "Okay, I have to go." And he left quickly. Alina immediately realized that something strange and mysterious was happening. Could it be that Christina is playing a double game? Such a familiar behavior of the deputy director only says one thing. He can also be with Christina in close relations. When Christina entered the office in 10 minutes, Alina realized that the girl was expecting to see someone else. And 2 months later, what happened was that she left everything in its place. Alina became a witness to a conversation that she should not have heard. She has already left everywhere. Her working day was over. There was no one in the bank. And if there was, Alina did not notice this. She was already going to hide her things in the storage room, as she discovered that she was not finding any liquid to wash the glass. She remembered that when she was cleaning the director's office, she saw dirty stripes on his glass table, and she took the washing machine to clean it. She left it there. Alina decided to go to the office to take the washing machine. Who knows how the deputy will react? Maybe not. Maybe she will be outraged. As the respected Kristina Olegovna, Alina didn't need another disassembly. She went to Dmitry Anatolyevich's office. The door was closed. Alina just raised her hand to take the door by the handle as she heard voices. Her hand froze in the air. Alina didn't have time to grab the handle. In a moment, she quietly turned around to go back, as if suddenly heard a female laughter. It was Christina. Alina was sure of this. And then another voice gave out. It was Dmitry Anatolyevich. So Alina's suspicions have been confirmed. The secretary is spinning the shura of the wall not only with the bank director, but also with his deputy. What a cunning ass. 2 rabbits want to catch. But it's her personal business. Let her sleep with everyone in the bank. Alina doesn't care. The girl took the first step as she heard another male voice. But it wasn't Nikita Mihailovich, as Alina thought at first. It was someone else. Then Alina quietly turned to the door again and slightly approached to hear what was happening. And in a couple of minutes, she recognized the third voice. It was the head of the accounting department. His name was Robert Pavlovich. A very unpleasant guy, I must say. He never liked Alina. Some kind of slippery. Something was wrong with him. And Alina soon realized that her intuition did not let her down. "Are you sure that no one will bother us?" asked Dmitry Anatolyevich. "Yes, I'm sure," replied Christina. "And the cleaning lady has already left." Robert Pavlovich's voice was heard. "This is so annoying to me. She always comes in at the most inappropriate moment, as if she's watching me, sniffing something all the time. Yes, she's already done her job. There's no one here, only the guard downstairs. But he doesn't care about us, so we can talk calmly." Christina answered. "Chris, maybe we should have met somewhere else. Will this cause suspicion?" The voice of the deputy director was slightly concerned. "If we all 3 met somewhere else, that would already cause suspicion. We don't communicate at work. No one should know about our relationships. And beyond these walls, we are just people for everyone who work in one place. Only here we can talk about everything without fearing exposure from the outside," Robert Pavlovich said. Alina's hands are shaking. Why is she constantly becoming a witness to something secret? She's drawn to this. Maybe there's something more serious here. Why are they gathered in the office under such a secret? And why are they afraid of some kind of exposure? What's going on here? Alina thought she didn't want to hear what they were going to talk about. Why does she need it? It would be better for her to leave now, so that she doesn't know anything. But Alina could not move from her place. Her intuition told her that she should hear everything. These three have come up with something bad. It is obvious. Why did they still wait until the building is empty? And she continued to stand by the door, listening to every word. A rustling paper was heard. I suggest discussing our decision for the last time, and set a date when everything will be done. Dmitri Anatolyevich coughed. Robert Pavlovich immediately responded. I propose exactly a month later. Let it be so. I think by this time everything will be prepared for sure. We will not have to worry that we will not have time, right? I don't care how you decide. It will be so. Dima, you have to think it over well. Do you really think it's better to do it to me? Said Christina. My dear Christina Olegovna, do you think that someone else can do it? You are our close Nikita. You have access to his papers, his body, his thoughts. No one can do this task better than you. Dima, do I really hear irony in your voice? Are you jealous? Or did you put me under him? My love, I do all this only for you. Have you forgotten that I didn't want to be his mistress? Have you forgotten how I begged on my knees to get as close to him as possible? You have a short memory. So, stop it. We are not discussing your love triangle right now. If you want, then discuss everything alone. And I want to discuss everything and finally go home. Silence hung. Then Dmitri Anatolyevich said, I'm sorry, Chris. You know how I feel about you. For me, no one is more important, and I'm very sorry that your connection lasts so long. I dream that it will end sooner. Let's not fight. I will not accuse you of anything anymore. I'm sorry. I'm not guilty of anything, Dima. Remember that. Don't you dare accuse me of anything anymore. Great. Since you've calmed down, let's continue. So, Christina, the whole country is looking at you, so to speak. Here are these papers. Keep them. Again, I heard rustling documents. Apparently, Christina republished them. Studying. This is terrible. Yes, he will be put in jail, most likely for this. You are trying to achieve this, right? Asked Christina. Dear, maybe he will be put in jail, but this is no longer our concern. The most important thing is that in our command will be all this money, and Robert will become the director. Then we will have nothing, you know? We will be able to turn it all the time. Of course, not on such a scale, of course, so that no one notices, but everything will be in our hands. Oh, Dima, I'm a little worried. What if something goes wrong? If he starts reading everything I bring him to sign? Dmitri Anatolyevich is out of breath. That's what you need. If he starts reading, you will immediately distract him, kiss him, hug him. What else do you get him into? I don't even want to know about it. That's it. Minutes of business. Make sure he signs everything without even considering. You said that he is doing this now, signing everything you bring without considering and not reading. We need it. We were aiming for this, right? Right, replied Christina. So, this deal will most likely put a chair on his career. Of course, if everything goes so far, then he can be put behind bars. But I think it's unlikely, although everything is possible. Christina, hide these documents in your safe. The keys are only with you, Robert Pavlovich asked. Yes, I have the keys only. No one has access. Nikita does not know about him. They will be there in safety and security. Do not worry. Great. I think our meeting was very fruitful. Well, on the 1st of next month you will bring him the documents for the signature, understood? Robert Pavlovich again turned to Christina. Yes, everything will be done. Alina did not listen anymore. She felt that due to a strong heartbeat, she could hardly breathe. If they see her, she definitely won't live. If they want to do some terrible things with the director, that with a sewing cleaner, as Christina called her, they will not be able to do the ceremony at all. Who knows what they can do with her? She cannot stay here. She must leave as soon as possible. And Alina slowly started to try to act as quietly as possible. She prayed that no one would see her. She was lucky. She managed to hide before the door to the deputy director's office opened. Robert Petrovich left, and Christina and Dmitri stayed in his office for a while. Alina quickly ran to the warehouse. She took her bag and left, constantly looking around. She hoped that no one would find out that she was here and heard the whole conversation. All subsequent days Alina came to work half an hour earlier. She was going to tell the director that his employees were up to something, but she didn't have the courage to do so. And what would she tell him? But he won't even look at her. This continued for a week. On the weekend, Alina sat late in the evening with her mother. They watched TV. It seemed that Alina was looking at the screen, but her thoughts were very far away. She was thinking about what to do with the secret she had accidentally learned. Should she get involved in this story? Won't it work that she is also accused of talking to the bad guys? What if Christina says that Alina knew about everything, because Alina has no evidence that she was not with them at all? Oh, how hard it is to make a choice. You are so thoughtful lately. Something happened to you. You are not sick, daughter. Alina heard her mother's voice. No, Mom, I'm not sick. Elena Timofeyevna didn't ask anything else. Alina would like to share her secret with her mother, but she could not pose her dangers. Tell me, Mom, how would you do it? How would you say? In general, if you knew some secret of another person, you should tell this to another person, knowing that this secret will cause him great harm. Elena Timofeyevna got upset. I don't quite understand you. You said everything so confusingly that I didn't understand who and what to tell. Well, let's say that several people have come to the conversation to hurt their colleagues. They want to set up to fire him. Naturally, he is not to blame for anything, and he doesn't know that he's being instigated by intrigues. So, one person who didn't touch this dark matter heard that the raid was being prepared. So, should we tell that colleague about everything to warn him about danger? How would you do in such a situation? Elena Timofeyevna thought about it, and then said it slowly. You know, daughter, I hold the opinion that everyone should act with conscience. If a person has the opportunity to prevent something bad, then he just has to do it. And it doesn't matter what other people think, whether it is dangerous or not. If you can help a person, then it is simply necessary to do it. Alina bit her tongue. Yes, her mother is kind herself. She has always treated people like that. Alina couldn't get another answer. But she doesn't know all the details of this story. And Alina couldn't tell everything. Mother will immediately tell her to leave this dangerous place, where something illegal is happening. She barely calmed down with the fact that Alina works as a cleaner. And why are you asking? Alina smiled. Yeah, Mom, I just wanted to hear your opinion. Forget it. Alina didn't ask anything from her mother anymore. She decided that she would do it with conscience. She will definitely tell everything to the boss. Only now you need to find the right moment. But the right moment did not come. The next week Nikita Mihailovich went on a business trip. Christina disappeared, and they talked that she went to her relatives. But Alina knew that she, together with the director, most likely flew to Paris. As she told her friends on the phone, and the time is coming. The deadline that was set by the conspirators when Alina eavesdropped them will come soon. And what can she do if he doesn't come back until this moment? Although he should come back, Christina should give him some documents for signature, and they are in her safe, which is not known where they are. And how to explain all this to the director? And in general, will he listen to her? Another week passed, and then Alina sees Christina at work. So they came back. However, the director was not there on that day, and on the next one too. Alina decided that it would not work to save him from the conspiracy. So this is his fate. And then the case was still provided. Alina has already finished her job. She carried her buckets and rags into the storage room, and then she heard the noise from the room. She was scared, thought that there were rats there. But when she opened the door, she almost got scared by the surprise. There was Nikita Mihailovich in the storage room. He looked at the sides, confused when he saw Alina. He was slightly grumpy. It was not clear whether it was because she knocked him here, or because of the irritation. "Nikita Mihailovich, what are you doing?" Alina didn't know what to say to the director. She couldn't even think that he knew about such a place as a warehouse. Nikita relaxed his tie a little and exhaled. "I barely found this secret room, but I can't find the money I need. What can I do with you? Maybe you can help me? I need money to clean the spot from the carpet. My secretary told me that you used this method to remove the stain from the carpet. Will you give me this method?" Alina was surprised. "Do you need help? Do you have a stain on the carpet?" "Yes, a stain. If you can, help me or just pour it in until morning." "No, it needs to be poured in for only 20 minutes. I'll do everything. Don't worry." "Great. Yes, great." Nikita Mihailovich sighed with relief. When Alina was in his office, she realized that it was a chance. She was alone with the director. He went into his office, pointed at her spot on the carpet, and then sat down at his table. He was looking at some documents without paying attention to the cleaning lady. Alina rubbed the spot for several minutes, and then in indecision made 2 steps in the direction of the director's table. And then she took a deep breath, gathering all her will into a fist. "Or now she will tell everything, or never remember it again." "Nikita Mihailovich?" "Yes." Alina bit her lips, still doubting. "I'm listening to you." "Oh, you've got a spot. Well, you can go."
"Stay till morning."
"Thank you." No, I'll wait. I'll clean it myself. You have an expensive carpet here. You can't leave it with the white out at night. He may get spoiled. I just wanted to tell you something. It concerns your position." Alina finally got interested in Nikita Mihailovich. He slowly raised his head, put the documents aside and looked at them from head to toe. Then he said, "And what did you want to tell me?" Alina felt that she had lost her voice. Now she has to tell everything, only how to make him believe her. She's just a cleaner. "Why are you silent? Don't you understand that I have a lot of work to do? I have no time to wait until you can form your own thoughts. Or do you think that I just enjoy looking at you?" The director smiled at her. When Alina realized that he just thinks she's stupid, she immediately found something to say. "I know that for you I'm just a cleaner, but I'm not as stupid as many people think. I have a higher economic education, and before I took a good position until an unpleasant event occurred in my life. Maybe someone also played intrigues behind my back, and if someone had warned me how I want to warn you, then I would have worked in my place until now and would have achieved even greater success. But I'm not lucky. But I want to help you, and I hope you will believe me, because it is in your own interests. And I don't need to lie to you. I have no benefit from this. And if I were, I would never have done such black things. The fact is that some time ago, even before your business trip, I found out something important for you. There are people who wish you harm. They have spoken against you. They probably had been carrying out their plan for a very long time so that you would not guess anything, and they acted from all sides. I want to warn you that they want to deceive you. I don't know the details, how exactly this did not sound, but the matter is so serious that you may be put in prison." There was silence. Nikita Mihailovich looked at Alina. His face did not express anything. "How did you find out about this?" Alina felt relieved. He believed her. Thank God. It means everything will be fine. She made the right choice. "I left my washing machine in the office. I have already finished my work. I am going to go home. It was very late. I thought there was no one there. I listened to the conversation through the door." "Who was it?" "You can call these people." Alina nodded. Nikita looked at her carefully, waiting for her answer. Before answering, Alina licked her dry lips. It was 2 men and a woman. Alina stopped indecisively. "Names?" Nikita said in demand. It was Robert Pavlovich and Dmitri Anatolyevich. And the woman? I feel very sorry, but this is your secretary. Nikita Mihailovich slightly changed his face. It was impossible to understand what he was thinking, but there was definitely no distrust. He believes in Alina. A couple of minutes later, he said, "Are you sure about this? Are you sure that Christina is with them at the same time? Tell me everything you know." She is sure because she is the one who has to play the main role in this performance, which may deprive you of your position. It was she who was supposed to bring you the documents for the signature on the 1st of July, which you were supposed to sign without even going into them. These documents are already with Christina. She hid them in her office, in a safe that you don't even know about. The keys are only with her. She said so. I don't know where this safe is. I only know that it's in her office. And also, Alina doubted whether to say that Christina was being linked to his deputy, but she decided that he should know absolutely everything. It seems to me that Christina Olegovna is in a relationship with Dmitri Anatolyevich. They said very strange things as if they had been in touch for a long time. And Robert Pavlovich knew about this too. That's all I wanted to tell you. Now you decide for yourself what to do next. I'll go. She went to the door, but the director stopped her. Wait. She stopped and turned around. Nikita Mihailovich looked at her, grumbling. You definitely don't know what kind of documents. Alina shook her head. No, I tried to understand, but they just said something about a deal. I don't know anything else. Okay, you said you had an economic education. Is that true? Alina blushed. Yes, it's true, she said. How did it come to be that you are now working on such a low position? The director asked with interest. Alina blushed again. She would not tell him all the events of her past life. I was set up. I thought I could count on the help of my colleague, and she did not insure me. I am to blame. I cannot count on anyone. It was a very unpleasant disassembly. I couldn't prove anything. I was kicked out with shame, and then something else happened. I'm sorry. I need to wash the carpet, otherwise the act of the whiter will be too strong. Nikita Mihailovich waved his hand and answered with irritation. I don't care about this carpet. Tomorrow this one will be thrown out, and a new bed. Forget about it. It doesn't matter now. You interested me a lot. Thank you for telling me all this. I will thank you later if it turns out that all this is true. Alina quietly replied. I don't need your gratitude. I didn't tell you everything because of that. I just don't want you to suffer for no reason only because someone wants to take over your position. Alina went home. That night she slept poorly. She had nightmares that she was flying to the top of the mountain. And there the birds sing so well, the animals walk everywhere. And then someone's black hands pushed her off the cliff, and she flew down for a very long time until someone grabbed her hand. And she woke up without having time to understand who saved her from falling. The next day, Alina came to work at 17:00. The whole bank was buzzing with the latest news. Alina found out that Nikita Mihailovich fired his deputy Dmitri Anatolyevich, head of the accounting department, and his secretary. And if Dmitri and Robert were doing well, then the dismissal of the secretary caused a great resonance. She didn't want to leave just like that. She left with a scandal. She blamed everyone for the concoction. She believed that someone had set her up. 20 minutes after the start of her working day, she was called by the director. She intrepid entered his office. He was very serious, and he was quite friendly. He kept silent for a few minutes and said, the safe was in her closet. I would never have noticed. He was done without my knowledge. I did not know. She split up not immediately. I had to scare her, but then she gave up her friends. I fired them already. I saw these documents. They made a real deal with one organization. If I signed them, the consequences would be very painful for me. Thank you for your help. You prevented the most real catastrophe. Alina blushed slightly. She nodded and wanted to leave the office. Wait, I'm not done yet. Alina questionably looked at Nikita Mihailovich. You said you had an economic education. It really interested me. I don't know what happened to you before, but I would like to have such a person next to me. You can rely on me. I have a free vacation, or rather even 3 vacancies. But you are only suitable for one so far. Vacation? Alina repeatedly repeated in confusion. I no longer have a secretary, and this position has been released. And I would like to make you my assistant. You will be my secretary, Alina. I need an assistant like you. Alina was upset. She did not expect this, and now she did not know what to say. So what is your answer? I do not know. It's so unexpected. How can I work? I do not know anything about the duties of your secretary. I do not know. I probably cannot. Nikita Mihailovich smiled. You can do it. I'm sure. It's not that hard. You will be my assistant. I want you to be them. I trust you. And about the duties, come to Diana Sergeyevna. She was doing the duties of my secretary when Christina was absent. She will tell you everything, show, explain, teach. I'm sure you will be a great worker. You must take on the position that suits you. Oh, the cleaning lady. Let's forget about it, as if it was a terrible dream. Now you're awake. Go home today. Come back tomorrow morning. Get dressed as you like. Come to the accounting office. They'll give you a bonus. I've been ordered. The amount is decent there. You can dress and get yourself in order. I think you don't need to explain. You understand everything yourself. That's it. Go. From today on, you are no longer a cleaning lady. But I haven't given my consent yet, said Alina. Nikita Mihailovich smiled. I saw the consent in your eyes. That's it. Go. I still have a lot to do. When Alina came home and told Mom about everything, she was ready to scream for the whole world from happiness. You see, you deserve all this. It's such a good luck. Grab her by the tail, daughter. You must take the position that suits you. My heart is covered with blood every time when I think that you have to work as a cleaner. It's so unfair. And that's it. It's finally over. You won't have to bend your back anymore. You're on your horse again, dear. I'm so happy. So happy. Mom, wait to be happy. Did you forget that I need to help you? Don't you understand that I have to work from morning till evening? How can I leave you alone all day? It's just impossible. And Elena Timofeyevna looked at her daughter with love. Dear, you shouldn't worry. Since you have a good job now, we can afford a seat, right? A half-day seat will be enough. The most important thing is that you have everything well. It will be good for you, and it will be easier for me. Unbelievable. Everything will be fine soon. I believe in it. Nikita Mihailovich really gave Alina a good bonus. She had enough to get herself in order before joining a new position and a job for the first month. She quickly solved all the questions related to her mother. After the walk into the beauty salon, Alina did not recognize herself in the mirror. She had already forgotten that she was still young enough. With a new hairstyle, she got better and younger by 10 years. And her hair was so beautifully colored, she didn't think that they were so gorgeous. Yes, they used to be just wonderful, but in recent years she did not do anything with them, and they hung with lifeless strands, gradually covering themselves with premature gray. But now she looked just great. Alina was in her wardrobe. She had a lot of clothes for the office, a lot of costumes. She threw nothing away, but she thought that nothing would suit her. She was mistaken. Everything was sitting on her as well as before. She had already forgotten what she could be. She wanted to cry. Does all this really happen to her? When she came to the bank the next morning, that none of the employees who had ever seen her did not recognize her. She politely greeted everyone, and she was politely answered, closely looking at the pretty girl, but no one recognized the non-fair cleaning woman. Alina went to the director's office. Behind the desk of the secretary was Diana Sergeyevna, who was supposed to teach her everything. Alina greeted her and said that she needed to see the director. He is waiting for you. You know, we have been doing this for the last few days, so I'm a little out of the way of all his business. I just replace it until his secretary has left, and the new one has not yet appeared. Rather, it will appear here and there, and I need to train her. Nikita Mihailovich said, "Oh, sorry, I'm just nervous. So are you assigned time?" Alina smiled. "Don't be so nervous. Diana, I am a capable student. I quickly grasp everything, and I will try to get into everything quickly." Diana opened her eyes and looked at Alina from head to toe. "This can't be. Is that you? You are Alina? Elena Borisovna. This can't be. I would never recognize you. Even your voice has changed. Wow, what a transformation." Alina laughed. How nice it was to make such an impression. She has already forgotten how it happens, and she forgot how nice it is when people admire you. "I would like to go to Nikita Mihailovich. May I?" Of course, he is not busy now. Come in, please." Alina shook her head. "No, let's still address each other in the t-shirt." "Okay. Diana Sergeyevna?" She smiled. "Okay, Elena Borisovna, whatever you say, I don't mind." Alina went into the director's office. When he saw her, he got a little upset. But Alina managed to notice his kind-hearted look, with which he looked at her from head to toe. He appreciated her appearance. "Why didn't my secretary warn me about the meeting? Do we know each other?" "I don't remember." "Nikita Mihailovich, I understand that I have changed a lot. You just said I should look like her, so I put myself in order to fit in a new position. That's exactly what I used to look like. You think I overworked? You see, I haven't paid attention to myself for a long time." "Alina, it's you. It can't be." "Yes, it's me." "What? Is everything so bad?" "Oh, I'm starting to get nervous. I told you I couldn't handle it. What can I say about my future duties if I didn't manage to do it from the very first step? I overworked, didn't I?" Nikita Mihailovich was shocked to see the former cleaning lady. He never thought that she was so impressive. Her appearance has changed so much. She is so young. He didn't even know how old she was. He didn't pay attention to this. And now, he was surprised to note that she was even younger than him, probably. Amazing. And she looked so gorgeous. Even better than Christina. "No, Alina. No, everything is just great. I just didn't expect it. It's a big surprise." "Well, Diana will tell you everything. You cannot kick me out. I do not mind. It will be even better." "Great. I'm just so used to it." "So, Diana will tell you everything, show you, explain. I think that 2 weeks will be enough for you to fully understand the principle of your work, to get involved in all the matters, to remember all the necessary contacts, to make up the schedule of meetings and the necessary events. In short, Diana will cope with the training, I think. And you too. Well, good luck, Elena Borisovna. Welcome to a new position. I am very glad that you will be my new assistant and very glad. I am sure that our cooperation will be very fruitful." Alina felt a slight anxiety. She didn't really like the intonation in his voice, as if he is hinting at something, but she doesn't want her to immediately bite off his intentions. But Alina quickly threw these strange thoughts out of her head. She never had to be the director's assistant before, and she was a little nervous. But she believed more and more that she would succeed. After so many years, she will finally be able to be on the top again. Alina really handled her responsibilities well. She was hungry for a normal job, communicating with people, responsibility. She was immersed in her new job with her head, grasping everything on the fly. Diana was amazed at how Alina could work as a cleaner if she had a higher education, if she was so smart and thoughtful. But she didn't ask her about the reasons for such a deed. But Diana told about this event to all bank employees, and everyone was shocked, especially those who visually remembered the former cleaning lady. No one could believe in such a wonderful transformation, and no one knew how Alina could fly like that. Time passed. Alina had been working for several months. She was already doing great with her duties. She could solve any problem. She could find an approach to any employee. She was polite to everyone, never rude, and the situation repeated itself. Many liked her, but many envied her. They envied her beauty, her success, her mind and position. There were girls who openly hated her. They would like to become secretaries themselves, and even better, the director's lovers. And then this jump appeared, which suddenly took the position of a desirable mini. From the dirt in the prince, as they say. Alina again did not pay attention to anyone. She did not care what they thought about her. She worked with pleasure, spending more and more time with the director. And she had money again. Now she could buy all the necessary imported medicines and care products for her mother. After a while, she began to notice that Nikita Mihailovich was looking at her all the time. One day he asked her to stay after work so that she could help him with some documents. Alina, of course, could not refuse. They stayed for 2 hours. The building was empty. It was Friday. Everyone went home. Alina was in her office. She was focusing on reading the papers, putting them from one column to another. She didn't notice how the director entered her office. Nikita Mihailovich was without a jacket and a tie. The upper buttons of his shirt were untied. He was carrying 2 glasses with a muddy white drink in his hand. I brought something to relax a little. Today is a very difficult day. Alina was flustered, looked at Nikita, at the glasses in his hand, and then smiled. Sorry, I can't drink at the workplace, and I still need to look at this pack. And who will say that we drink at the workplace? There is no one. And the working time is long over. And I don't force you to drink. Just let's knock on the glasses for our fruitful cooperation. I told you it would be like this. Come on, take a glass. Alina with doubt took a glass. They touched the glasses and Alina ruined the drink. Oh, it turned out delicious. How long has she not drunk? She took another couple of sips and felt that she was under pressure. She only now realized how tired she was in these few months. Everything suddenly changed in her life, that she could not yet realize what had happened. And then Alina felt that the director came up to her from behind and put his hands on her shoulders. What? Tired? Very, the girl admitted. And then Nikita Mihailovich began to massage her shoulders. You know, we actually work a lot and we need to relax more often. It is very important, believe me. Don't you understand that you need to regularly release the nervous tension? Alina nodded and closed her eyes. She silently enjoyed the fact that the director gently massaged her shoulders. But as soon as he began to descend lower to her chest, Alina's eyes immediately suddenly opened. So, stop. What's going on here? She suddenly jumped out of the chair. Nikita Mihailovich, what are you doing? And what am I doing? Don't you understand? I think we've come to the point where we can get even closer to each other. Isn't that right, darling? Alina has become pale. Does he think she will become his lover? No. She must let him know that this will never happen. And it's better to do it right now, so that there is no misunderstanding between them later. Nikita Mihailovich, I can't give you what you want. My duties are not included. My love relationships are not included if you hint at it. It is excluded. If this is one of the conditions of my work here, then I will have to leave, unfortunately. Nikita Mihailovich was grumpy. He looked at Alina for a long time. Something that scared the girl flashed in his eyes. But then he calmly said, I understood you. I'm sorry you lost a lot by giving up. I'm a generous person, a lover, and you wouldn't need anything. I'm sorry you don't like me. Alina blushed, and then said indecisively, No, I can't say I don't like you, Nikita Mihailovich, but I can't. You have a wife. You're married. I can't do that. It's not in my principles. Well, I understand your principles, Alina Borisovna. I'm very sorry that you're holding them back. Well, everyone has their own secrets. Finish your work, and you can go home. He turned around and headed to the door, but Alina called him. Nikita Mihailovich, Don't be offended by me, please. It would be a slightly different situation, but in this situation I can't do it. You can't. He looked at her carefully, then sighed. I got you, Alina. Don't worry. I got you. Come on, throw these papers. We'll finish after the weekend. Go home. I want to get ready too. And he left. And it seems he was calm and kind, but Alina felt a strong anxiety. He didn't like it very much that she refused him. He didn't like it very much. And he just won't leave it like that. Alina intuitively felt that he would not leave it like that. And she felt the goosebumps running through her skin. She felt uncomfortable. From that very day on, Alina felt changes in the relationship between her and the director. She was the same executive and friendly. But Nikita Mihailovich was no longer so predisposed to her. No, he was satisfied with how Alina worked, how she fulfilled her duties. But he was not so friendly anymore. He was a little cold with her. And Alina was upset about this. Could her refusal have so influenced his attitude? But she explained to him her position. He understood her. Why is she behaving like that with her? She did not understand. Several months passed, and Alina realized that all this time Nikita Mihailovich was angry with her. He was so angry that the further events were definitely set up for them. Alina knew this. Once Alina came to work, and there was some kind of fuss in the bank. Diana ran up to Alina and told her, "There are some sort of disassembly. Something serious is happening. The security service has arrived. They are sitting in the director's office." "Oh, I think someone's heads will fly." "What happened?" "Someone was doing some kind of fraud. Someone was being suspected." "Oh, I don't know. Nikita Mihailovich told me to come to him when you come." "Come on. He's waiting for me." Alina came to the director's office. The look that Nikita Mihailovich had on her didn't please her. He didn't give her a good word. Alina felt the anxiety again. Something terrible is happening. She is sure. And she can't do anything. Security service officers began to ask her a bunch of questions. Alina did not know what to answer out of surprise. She tried to answer the truth, but she was confused, and she began to forget what she said a few minutes ago. She felt that tears were rolling down her eyes. She had the feeling that the situation was repeating. Something similar had already happened to her when she was at her previous job, accused her of not fulfilling her duties. She also tried to justify herself, but she couldn't do anything. Could it be that now she will also be on the side? She has just begun to feel confident, just breathed freely, feeling that it has become easier for them and their mother. She has just ordered an imported wheelchair for her mother, having spent all her earned money. What is happening? And then she looked at her boss, and she saw an unpleasant smile on his face. He set up everything. It is so. She is sure of it. He set her up by submitting these documents that she never saw in her eyes. Her signature is on them. It's all set up. Yes, she signs documents, but she reads everything. She never signs. She doesn't read anything before that. How did it all come to be? She couldn't understand. She tried to explain everything to the security service employees, but they didn't listen to her. They called the police. After a while, police officers arrived. They took her with them. Alina screamed that she had nothing to do with it and that they had to check her director, but she was not paid attention. And Nikita Mihailovich shook his head and said, "Oh, Elena Borisovna, you disappointed me so much. I gave you such a chance, but you did not take advantage of it. They told me that I should not have trusted you, but I trusted, and you so overpowered me, did the most evil things behind my back, stealing money from honest people. No one will thank you for this. You must pay for what you did. I hope you will be judged by all the rules. You can't give such a person a chance for correction anymore. You have a place only in prison, not among honest and decent people." Alina couldn't even say a word. She did not expect such a scoundrel from the director. She herself saved him from the execution of his enemies. He has already forgotten it. He could have been put in prison himself, and she saved him from this fate. And now, he spits her right in the soul, forgetting about all the good. And this is all because she refused to be his mistress. What a terrible person. She could not see his true face. If she knew that it would be so, then she would not have told him about the conspiracy of his employees and secretaries. She would not have saved him. Alina was taken to the police. She was put in jail until the case was clarified. But no one really understood the situation. All the evidence indicated that Alina was to blame for everything, and she couldn't prove anything. The girl was holding her head high. She agreed with the neighbor that she would stay with her mother for now. It's a good thing she was on vacation and could do it. Alina didn't have any money for a good lawyer. She spent all the savings on an invalid mother's chair. She was appointed a free defender. Pyotr Nikolaevich seemed to be a good lawyer. He listened carefully to the girl, nodded his head as if he agreed with her. But Alina did not see special sympathy in his eyes. It was clear that he would not do anything to prove her innocence. He was just presented to her for the sake of decency, because it was customary. But she did not feel that she had a defender. She was in despair. After the first hearing, Pyotr Nikolaevich came to her and said, "You know, Alina Borisovna, it's very bad. Everything is so hopeless that my hands are falling off. What to do? How can I be? I can't go to jail for what I didn't do. It's not fair. Don't you understand that I was set up?" The girl answered in despair. Of course, I understand everything. I believe you. But sometimes circumstances are so complicated that we have to adjust to them. I can't prove your innocence for not having evidence against someone else. But I can still do something. Can you? Can you help me?" The lawyer smiled, but his smile was somewhat hypocritical. He looked like a snake. "Of course I can. I'm a lawyer. That's why I'm here with you, to do everything possible to help you. You don't have to doubt me." No, I don't doubt you. I want to hear as soon as possible what you can do. Tell me. I'm listening to you," Alina answered, grabbing the lawyer by the hand. Pyotr Nikolaevich slightly grumbled and released his hand from her clenched grip. "I'll tell you everything now, and if you listen to me, then everything will be fine. I promise you this. You must admit your guilt. A pure-hearted confession, so to speak. So, if you admit that you are guilty of everything you are accused of, then you will be saved." "Saved? What are you talking about?" Alina asked in shock. "Everyone will see and understand that you sincerely repent in the court of law of the crime and will regret you. Your confession will be a softening circumstance. You will be admitted, of course, guilty, but given that you have not been attracted to it before, you will be given a minimum sentence. I think no more than 5 years. It will be just wonderful. After all, if you insist that you were set up, there will be nothing good. You will be condemned anyway, but only for a long time. I think 15 years, no less. There is a difference, right? Or 5 years, or 15. The difference is colossal, in my opinion, and I'm sure you will be reasonable." "What? You suggest me to admit my guilt? What are you talking about? I must admit that I did not do it? No, this will never happen. I do not want to. I will not do it. I didn't commit any crime, and I won't confess just because I want to spend less time in prison. Don't even tell me about it. How can you offer me such a thing? You are just a sales lawyer. Someone bribed you, right? You were specifically sent to me. Who? Who did it? Is it Nikita Mihailovich, right? Is it him, or someone else? Who are you?" Pyotr Nikolaevich got upset, squeezed his lips. He collected all the documents lying on the table in his backpack and stood up. "Well, I wanted it better, and you are still insulting me. No, I don't intend to listen to all this. Look, my dear, you will remain without a lawyer if you behave like this and further. I'll probably leave you. Think about what your indecency will lead to. If you change your decision, report on it. Then I will come to you to discuss all the details of your confession. And now I'm leaving." The lawyer left. and Alina was taken to the cell. She lay on her bed and cried. She had never been in such despair. She could not think about what her work in this bank would lead to. He disappeared. I would never come here to work, even a cleaner, even anyone. Alina felt that a rope was being pulled around her neck, and the further she went, the stronger her flesh was pulling, the stronger she rolled down. The next day, she was told that a visitor had come to her. Alina thought that the lawyer had come to persuade her again, so that she would agree to confess her guilt. She was ready to tear him to pieces for this. She first wanted to refuse the meeting, but then decided that she should tell him everything in person, and she will pass a message through him to the one who is trying to make her realize that she did not do it. However, she was surprised. It was not her lawyer. In the interrogation room, she was not expected by a lawyer, but by a young woman, and Alina did not understand who it was at first. They looked at each other for a while, and then a stranger said, "Hi, Alina. Don't you recognize me?" As soon as Alina heard the voice of the stranger, she immediately understood who was in front of her. "Veronica? Vero, is that you?" The girl smiled, nodded, and Alina threw herself at her neck. "Oh, Vero, is that really you? I don't believe my eyes. How glad I am to see you. You can't even imagine how happy I am." And then Alina cried out, hugging her. Veronica and Alina were childhood friends. They were friends from the kindergarten. When one boy attacked Alina, it was Veronica who defended her from attacks. And from that moment on, they became inseparable. They went to school together and sat all year round in a row, ignoring the teachers who tried to put them in jail with the boys. They always trusted each other with secrets and shared the most sacred. It was Veronica who comforted Alina when she was first broken her heart. It was Alina who persuaded Veronica to meet the most important hooligan in the school. Only after school did their paths part. Alina wanted to go to the economic faculty, and Veronica persuaded her to go to Moscow with her, and there they will go to university together. Vera wanted to be a lawyer. They argued for a very long time, and then they got so angry that they stopped talking at all. They both suffered, but none of them went to see each other. So their unbreakable friendship ended. They never saw each other again. And what happened to her best friend, Alina did not know. Alina cried for a long time, and Veronica stroked her on the back and whispered something. When Alina calmed down, they both sat down. "How did you get here? What are you doing here? I don't understand anything," Alina whispered. Veronica took her hand. "I am very happy that I was here. I saw you in the court hall." "In the court hall? What were you doing there?" I don't understand anything. I didn't see you there. Your mother told you about me. And how did you get into the court hall?"
Veronica sighed.
"Oh, Alina, you're still so simple. You don't understand what I'm doing here. Are you allowed to have regular visitors?" "No, of course not. Only one person was allowed to come to me, and it was—" "Oh my God, you're a lawyer, Vero." Veronica nodded. "Wow, you fulfilled your dream. I'm happy for you." Alina said it sincerely. "Yes, I dreamed of entering the Moscow State Law Academy, and I entered it. Although many told me that I could not enter. Then they said that I would not be able to. Then they claimed that they would not let me finish it. Well, then you will not succeed, Veronica. Without connections, you are nobody. However, I was able to achieve everything. I was able to finish the academy with a difference. My teachers were proud of me. I have acquired the necessary and important connections, and I have achieved success. Many say that all this happened through the bed. I am not trying to disprove them, let them think so, but only I know that I have achieved everything with my mind." Alina was delighted to see her best childhood friend. She has always believed in her. She has always believed that the purpose of life is her main quality, and Veronica will be able to achieve everything she wishes. So it happened. She wiped everyone's noses. "I have always believed in you," she said. Veronica smiled sadly. "I can't say that I was very happy when I saw you. I live in Moscow. I came here to my friend. He invited me to the hearing, wanted to show how the system works here. Well, I want to say that I didn't want to go to court, but intuition told me that I should be present. I was right when I found out about you, or I would have lost my voice. You looked so defenseless. I felt so sorry for you. I studied your case. To be honest, a lot of things seemed very strange to me. The defense system is wrong, but everything depends on the lawyer. How could you trust this idiot? You should understand that a free lawyer can't be good. He's doing it for the sake of his dignity, but he won't do anything special. I don't have money for a lawyer. My mom, I have a very difficult situation, Vero. It's a long story and there's no time to explain everything. Just believe me, I couldn't do anything. A free lawyer is my only chance. Veronica sat down more comfortably, put her leg on her leg, and put her hands on her chest. Long story. Well, I'm not in a hurry. Tell me, my friend. And Alina told her how she got into trouble at her first job, how her mother got into an accident, how she was insulted in the hospital, and how she spent all her money on her treatment and recovery. And what was so hard that she had to become a cleaner. And there was no one who would help her. She took care of her mother, worked for her, she tried to survive, and then she found a job in this bank. Stop for now. From this moment on, you will tell everything in great detail. I understand that it's not that easy, right? Veronica asked. Alina nodded. I tried to tell the security service and the lawyer, but I have a feeling that no one listened to me. They just need to put someone in jail. I'm sure that if you dig deeper, you can pull out such a deep hole that not one, but many heads can be taken off. You interested me a lot. Tell me more. And Alina told how the cleaning lady settled down and how strange things began to happen around her. She told in great detail about the conversation she had listened to. She said that she regrets that she told the director everything because she is sure that he is now trying to put her behind bars. Why are you so sure of this? Asked Veronica, interested. Because I know for sure. He recently offered me to become his mistress, and I refused him. From that moment on, everything began. I felt something was happening, but I couldn't think that he was preparing something like this for me. It's definitely his fault. I suspected him of something. He was not always honest with his employees, with his management. He was giving himself money, I'm sure of it, but I had no proof. I couldn't get into his office, and I didn't want to. I'm not a thief. However, my honor played a bad joke on me. Alina told how she came to work, how she was interrogated. I don't remember what I was saying to them. I was telling the truth, but they kept confusing me. I was scared. I was very scared, Vero. It seemed to me that I was standing in front of the abyss and that there was no one who would help me. This lawyer, imagine what he offered me. Alina told me about the lawyer. Veronica smiled and tapped her finger on the table. And I told you that they would not do anything good for protection. If he persuades you to confess, then he will be smacked on the head, will be fined for quickly finishing this case. No one likes to deal with people like you. They both kept silent. Thank you for coming to visit me. I am very happy that everything is fine with you, honest word. Alina said. Veronica looked at her carefully, as only lawyers can look. And the fool knew that a real professional was sitting in front of Alina. While her friend was telling her everything, the head of the house, Veronica, saw the plan of further actions. And this time she knew that the fastest way to help here was not her protection, but her connections. And Veronica was going to take advantage of them. So, my dear, listen to me carefully. I will be honest that my services are worth a lot, but of course I will not take a penny from you. The only thing that worries me a little is that tomorrow I have to fly to Europe for a conference. But I will try to fix this. I will call my partners, explain to them the whole situation. I will say that my best friend is in trouble. They will understand. They will urgently send someone else to Europe, and I will stay here with you. And until I get you out of here, until I prove that you are not guilty, I will not calm down. Believe me, without false modesty, I can tell you that if a person tells me the truth and he is really innocent, then I can prove his innocence. There are no exceptions. Therefore, everyone dreams of getting me. Therefore, I have achieved such success. Alina almost cried. She received help so unexpectedly that she could not believe it. Veronica left promising that she would do everything possible to restore justice. And let Alina not despair and not listen to anyone who tries to scare her. Now she was her official lawyer. The next day she was called to the interrogation room again. Peter Nikolaevich was sitting at the table. Alina looked at him with a smile. The lawyer did not like the expression of the face with which the accused looked at him. But when he heard that she told him, he lost his voice. I will not meet you anymore. You are no longer my lawyer. I hired another lawyer. Now she will protect me. What? How? I do not understand. You hired another lawyer. But where did you get the money from? But this should not worry you. You have no right to ask me such questions. You now have no right to ask me questions at all. So please do not come to me anymore. You can tell them that I'm not going to confess my guilt. And if you have any questions, you can contact the Vietvitskaya Veronica Denisovna. Vietvitskaya? Vietvitskaya is in charge of your business? But how? Pyotr Nikolaevich opened his eyes. Alina realized that Veronica really is a pretty important bump in the middle of the lawyers. Alina was incredibly lucky that her best friend, she found out about her case. Alina didn't see Petr Nikolaevich anymore, and in a week Veronica came with good news. She managed to move the case from the dead end. Alinaka, I called Moscow. I contacted the chairman of the bank's board, in which you work. I know him personally, through one very important person. It doesn't matter who it is. I won't even ask. I won't tell anyway. So, he agreed to meet with him. I told him about you. I told him about everything that was going on in the bank. I told him that you were set up and that most likely your director is engaged in all these frauds and is writing off on you. I told him that you are a very good and honest person and that you should not suffer. And what? Alina whispered with hope, looking at her friend. He believed me. How else? I have a small influence in Moscow. Many people know me. He believed me. He tore the metal that such a disgrace happens. He said that he would send his people, and they would conduct a grandiose check. They will check everything. Their offices, all files on computers, all documents and papers, all translations, everything. Be calm. If your director steals or turns some kind of fraud, then it will all be revealed. And then your innocence will be proven. Alina rushed to hug Veronica. Thank you. Thank you. You are the best. I don't believe that this is happening to me. Will it all end soon? Yes, it will all end soon, I'm sure. And you will say thank you to me when you get out of here, my dear. Alina waited 2 long weeks. She was already starting to doubt that Veronica could achieve something. Alina thought that nothing had happened. But 2 weeks later, everything changed. People who came to check from Moscow found evidence that Nikita Mihailovich had been doing illegal things for many years, and he stole a lot of money that was on his foreign accounts. And he deceived his employees. Every year he robbed them by cutting off their premium payments. He paid for most of these payments. He was also involved in the fraud. No one knew anything else. And Alina didn't know about it. And no one would have guessed anything if Nikita Mihailovich didn't try to trick Alina to teach her. He got mad at her for refusing him, and he decided to punish her. He only dug a hole in himself with this. After the check, many documents were found, which Nikita Mihailovich kept in his office. These documents proved to be entirely his fault. After he was taken under custody, he had a search done at home. And at home he also found many evidence. Now the court was waiting for him. Alina was released. She was restored to her post. The bank now had a new director. It was a completely new person. He was sent from Moscow, and with him was sent the whole department of accounting. Now justice was rejuvenated. Now there will be no she was comfortable working with him. Now, Work has brought her even more pleasure than before, and she could no longer worry about being accused of something. Nikita Mihailovich was put in prison. He was given a fair sentence, and they said that he yelled at the court as if he was being cut. He tried to break free and even hit someone from security a couple of times. His wife disappeared, probably left the country. Now they were friends again. Of course, they lived in different cities, but now they constantly flew to visit each other. Their friendship was verified over the years. They forgot about their past conflicts and quarrels. Alina was grateful to Veronica that she saved her from prison, and Veronica was happy that she got her best gift again.